Good morning. I had a horrible shift at work last night, and I normally work Saturdays, but I wasn't scheduled. But today I'm actually not mad about it at all because after last night, I don't know. Basically, there was a lot of shit that went down, but I'll tell you one thing that kind of pissed me off. So I had this table, and everything went fine. You know, they weren't like nice, but they weren't really rude. It was just whatever. And I, ran their card because they wanted to go home. And I accidentally, me and another server were running a card at the same time. So I ran the correct table. I just took the top slip from someone else's table. So I drop it off and then I come back to pick it up, see if they need anything because they're kind of like looking around. And they're like, this is not, like, they're mad as fuck. They're like, you need to refund us. Like, you ran us on the wrong table. Like, this is wrong. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, oh shit. I hate when that happens because, it doesn't happen often, but every once in a while it's going to happen, okay? Especially because it was busy last night. Hold on. So it takes me all of 2 seconds to realize what happened. And I'm like, oh, like, I'm so sorry for the confusion. Like, I ran the correct, table. Like, your card is fine. I just grabbed the wrong piece of paper. And they are not picking up what I'm putting down. So I had to explain it to them 4 separate times until they finally were like, I just woke up, okay? Until they finally were like, oh, okay, whatever. And I was like, okay, like, have a good day. I'm so sorry about the confusion. So they leave, and after a while, they come back, and I see them, and they're like, don't even talk to me. They ask for a manager. And I'm like, oh, fuck my life. Like, not this shit again. And so my manager comes over to me, and she's like, what happened with this table? I explained it to her, and she's like, okay, like, they're saying that their bank statement is showing a charge for $90. Their bill was $60. I was like, there ain't no fucking way. I haven't even put the tip in yet. Like, I haven't even entered anything in the system. It's not even closed out completely. And she's like, okay, so basically, I don't really know what ended up happening, but my manager was like, it's not your fault. You did the correct thing. I don't know what's going on with them. And so I was like, okay, so that was kind of annoying. And then I had another table after that. It's this mom and dad, a daughter, another mom and dad, a daughter, and then probably their daughter's friend or whatever. And they're super nice. I go over, they already have drinks on the table, right? And these girls don't look a day over 16 years old, have drinks in front of them. They're frozen. And I'm like, okay, they're probably like virgin daiquiris or something. Because like, bitches do that a lot. I don't know. I used to do that shit. So the people at the table are like getting up and like walking around because, we have live music. It's kind of like that kind of vibe. And one of the husbands orders 2 frozen margaritas. And I'm assuming it's for his wife. Like, I have nothing to think like suspiciously at this point because I'm also busy and he has his wife there. She's just not at the table right now. I'm like, okay, so I bring the drinks over, running around still, and then come back. The drinks are in front of the guy and the woman, and he orders another 2. And I'm like, okay, come back, walking around. It's starting to die down in the restaurant a little bit. And I noticed that the drinks are now sitting in front of the girls. And I'm like, oh, hell fucking. I'm like, no. So they're already like halfway gone, so I'm not gonna fucking say anything. Like, I honestly, you could burn this entire place down with me inside of it, and I wouldn't give a fuck, okay? But then I come around again and he orders another round. And at that point, I'm like, okay, I know exactly what's going on here. No, ma'am. So I go back into the office because number one, all 3 of my managers were there, including the owner of the restaurant. I am not losing my job because you want your 16-year-old daughter to drink. Okay, like, because frankly, I personally don't give a fuck, but we could lose our liquor license. Any of my managers could walk by at any moment and I could just be done for it. Like, no. So I go to the office, tell my manager what's happening. She's like, okay, I'll come out. She makes it look like she's doing rounds. And then I come back to the table after and I'm like, oh, like, my manager was over here. Like, are you guys okay? Like, playing fucking stupid. And he's like, yeah, she said we can't order any more drinks anymore. And I was like, oh, like, I'm sorry. And then he looks at me and he's like, I wonder who ratted us out. Like, I don't think it was you. And I was like, so you're really deadass just gonna fucking tell me that you knew exactly what you were doing? I was like, bro. And like, the daughters weren't ordering things. They were waiting until I wasn't at the table to like drink out of them and like put them in front of them. Because every time I came back, the drinks weren't in front of them until they got drunker, pretty much. But yeah, and there was like a lot of other shit going on just behind the scenes. And it was just not a good night. And Janelle also wasn't there. And she works today and I'm not working today. So I'm waiting for that phone call to see how this goes. Sorry, that was kind of long. I'm going to the bank and getting some food. But love you guys. Thank you for watching.
Sorry you guys, I look a mess right now, but we have to get ready to get out of the house, being kicked out. So basically before my parents went to sleep, they were like, you need to be out of the house before the morning, like, you need to be freaking gone. And I like did not believe them at all, and I didn't believe them like at all. And my mom texted me at 1:35 and it's 1:47. She was like, are you packing your things? Are you almost ready to leave? And I was like, no, like I thought you guys were joking. She was like, why in the heck would we be joking about this? Like, we're kicking you out. Like, you're done. And I didn't even, like, do anything bad at all. I'm always helping them out, doing so much for them, running around, like, picking up food, groceries, and I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I need to compose myself. Basically, all that happened was my dad had to use my MacBook because my sister locked him out of his phone, so he had to, like, plug his phone into my MacBook, and he saw my boyfriend and I's, like, messages, and it was nothing bad. We were just talking about, like, oh, like, we can't wait to move in with each other, like, how we love each other so much. Like, that's every girl's freaking dream, like, a teenage dream, and it's like, what? And they said, like, oh, if you're so worried about moving out, why don't you just move out now? And I thought they were just joking about it and everything, and they were like, Mia, like, we've been talking, like, oh, if you're so worried about moving out, just move out now. Like, since you and your boyfriend are talking about it so much, just move out now. Why don't you'll take a burden off of us and everything like that. But I didn't, like, actually think they were being for real. Guys, I can't stop crying, and I don't even have a car right now. It says, like, power steering assist, so I can't even drive my car right now. How am I gonna get to work, to school? Like, I'm just screwed. I'm literally screwed. JK, y'all, April freaking Fools, y'all. April Fools.
Get ready with me while I explain to you guys why you can't trust literally anybody. I feel like I just have really bad luck with friends. Also, before you guys assume this is not a hickey, I burned myself with the beach waiver. Like, I promise it's a burn. Anyway, there's this guy that I was dating. I was dating him for about a year and a half, maybe a little bit longer, maybe a little bit less. I don't really remember. But at that time, I was also really, really close with this one girl. Also, I'm not going to name drop. I wanted to, but I'm not going to because it's really not that deep. To sum up how close we were, if someone couldn't get a hold of me, they called her. If they couldn't get a hold of her, they called me. Because we were always together. Anyways, me and him ended, and then not too much longer later, me and her just, like, fell apart. Like, nothing happened between us, like, no beef, no drama, no nothing. We just really stopped talking for a while. Recently, around the beginning of October, she slid up on one of my stories, and then we kind of just, like, caught up and started talking again. And then the bond that we had before, like, literally came back within an instant because we were so freaking close. And, like, you can't really erase that. Like, we were literal sisters. We talked every single day, hung almost every single day, but let's skip the backstory, the boring stuff, and let's get to the point. She stayed the night the day before New Year's Eve and then was at my house New Year's Eve morning. I had plans that morning, so she ended up going home just for a little bit, and then we planned on meeting back up and getting ready for this party. We were texting all day. We were so excited about the party, and then randomly she's like, oh, sorry, like, I have plans with my family. And I'm like, girl, don't even worry about it. Like, I'll just go out by myself. Family is more important. Like, of course. The party that we were going to go to together was, like, really far, so I didn't want to go without her, so I was trying to find, like, another party to go to. I ended up finding one that was really close, after everyone was posting about it, and literally everyone was there. And I was like, okay, everyone's there. I mean, I'm going by myself, but I know a lot of people. It's fine, whatever, let me just go. Because, like, I didn't want to do nothing on New Year's Eve. So I get there, I found all my people, like, I'm having a really freaking good time, and I want to say at least 45 minutes to an hour goes by, and I'm over here catching up with one of my other friends, and I'm talking about how much I miss my ex, and she goes, girl, he's downstairs with so-and-so. I start laughing. I'm like, no, she's with her family. Like, haha, good try. Thinking it was a literal joke. Like, I literally thought it was a literal joke. I go downstairs and she's sitting, like, in the corner behind the pool table on his lap in a chair. In that moment, I'm, like, really freaking confused because I'm like, she just told me that she had a family thing to go to. Like, why did she lie to me? But, like, also in that moment, my heart completely shatters because I'm like, I was just talking about how much I miss him, and my best friend is sitting on his lap right now. I want to say, like, best friend. Like, I don't know what you classify as best friend, but we were getting really, really close again. And if you guys know me and you guys watch my TikToks, before any of you guys ask, no, it's not Haley or Charlie. I just haven't really hung out with either of them. Still love them so much. I see Charlie tomorrow, so y'all will probably see her too. Anyways, back to the story. She made direct eye contact with me and then hurry up and looked away and acted like she didn't even see me. He gets up and he comes over and he's like, yo, nice to see you. Talking to my other friend, talking to the other friend, talking to the dude behind us. And I'm like, he just touched my hand. Like, we're gonna get married again. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I was, like, heartbroken in this moment because, like, what was that? She walks to the opposite side of the basement and goes up those flight of steps to, like, avoid us. And I'm talking to him, like, having a normal conversation. Like, obviously, like, if he's with her, I'm not gonna flirt with him, even though that was my man and my best friend. Whatever, it doesn't even matter. But I'm, like, talking to him and I'm like, oh, so, like, you and so-and-so? He was like, yeah, we've been together for, like, 2 months. You didn't know? In my mind, I'm like, that dab up meant nothing. I thought we were gonna get married. He just dabbed me up. We're gonna get married. Nope, it meant nothing. I'm just kidding. Let me stop being delusional. Anyways, back to the story. We had been friends for over 2 months. Like, been close again for over 2 months. And she never once mentioned that she was dating my ex. Yeah. One that she would tell me to leave in the beginning over and over and how he's no good for me. Anyways, fast forward, she didn't talk to me the entire party and then blocked me. Like, I texted her and I was like, hey, that's all I said was, hey, blocked. She blocked me and I'm not gonna go chasing after anybody. Obviously she was no good because what was that? She could stay in 2023. That was so cringy of me to say, but she can stay in 2023 because 2024 she will not be in. It's low-key not that deep because he was my ex, but you are supposed to be my best friend. You're supposed to be my best friend. I feel so embarrassed because I had been, like, sobbing about him to her. Not sobbing, but, like, I miss him. Like, I want a bad girl. Like, we should go on a 2-man and, like, invite him, blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, she's in a relationship with him. Like, I look so stupid sitting here crying about him to her when she's dating the man. Or talking to him. I don't know. He just said we have been together for over 2 months. I don't know what that means. I don't know. Ah! Like, why? Why? In my opinion, no matter what, that's a violation of girl code to, like, date your best friend's ex. Yeah. Like, at the same time, I'm not going to lose my best friend over a boy, so I wouldn't have really cared if she didn't lie to me about it and then blocked me because I texted her, hey. Anyways, guys, that's all. I love you guys. I'll see you later. I just had a rant real quick because... let me tell you, that had me heated. Peace out, guys. Bye. Let's talk about my boyfriend from hell freshman year. Y'all seriously need to buckle the fuck in because this is a very interesting man. He followed my old account, like, where I used to post get ready with me, so hopefully he doesn't find this. But I don't know, he's probably fucking doing drugs in some hotel in Colorado, so I don't really care. I'm gonna try a new I Look Why talk about that. Okay, so freshman year me, I'm super freaking innocent. Like, very innocent, like the most innocent girl you will probably ever meet. And I was weird. Like, I was just known as weird. Like, I didn't have, like, a lot of friends. I just, you know, I was the weird girl. So this guy was popular. Let's start off with that. Like, he was popular. And, like, our freshman year was just, like, ghetto. Like, if that's, like, one word to describe it. Like, everyone was just, like, that group was just sus. Freshman year was just such a ghetto year for, like, I think all the popular people. Like, they were out every night doing fucking drugs, straight like that. What the fuck was going on? And then that's when girls would, like, wear, like, really scandalous tops with their asses out of their fucking jean shorts. We're painting the picture, okay. I got caught up with this guy. I met him, I think, on Snapchat. No! I met him because I was best friends with this girl, and we were, you know, both single, and we were in our little hoe phases. We were like, let's go meet. There's these guys on Snapchat, and there's 2 of the same exact name guys. We're gonna call them Max. So there was 2 Maxes. And we were both texting these guys, Max, and we're like, okay, we want to FaceTime both Maxes tonight. Well, let me tell you, only one Max answered, and it was the one that probably shouldn't have answered. One would have been a lot better of an option. So... this Max guy, it's late at night and we're calling him. And he starts talking to me. I'm wearing the most ugly fucking outfit ever. I look stupid. So my friend at the time, who was very sociable, talked to this man like it was so easy. But he ended up only really talking to me. He said, oh, Fabian, what's your Snapchat? I said, okay, period, let me give you my Snapchat. Because, like, this guy was popular. I was like, oh my God. Like, you know me, like, any, like, weird girl, I feel like, at that time would, like, take up the opportunity to be with, like, some popular guy. I was on it. I was like, why? You want to talk to me? Like, okay, period. Because I was ugly, too. I don't know what he fucking saw in me. But we're going to get to what he saw in me. So he was like, let's snap, and we started snapping. We were getting pretty close, and then, you know, but I was scared of him. Like, my parents were strict. I've never had a boyfriend before, and they've never seen me have guys over. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have him over with my best friend. He ended up coming over, but of course, you know, this man had a weed delay. He had to go pick up his weed from his friend. Guys, I could say so much about this fucking man. But let me say his excuses. His parents couldn't know that he was coming to a girl's house, so he had to Uber. He had to Uber to my house. His parents didn't give a fuck what he did. He was out every night smoking, I don't fucking know. Probably some unsourced drug that came from fucking out of this world. I don't know. I know your mom did not give a fucking shit what you were up to. So don't even come on here saying all this. We always had trouble getting rides, and that would always delay our hang. But at this certain point, he was like, you know what? Like, I got an Uber. There's so many, like, twists and plot twists to this. So if y'all want a question about this, I can turn it into a story. I'm gonna make this multiple parts. He's so good. Such an interesting man. First night he comes over, right? And he's already at my house, and everything's just sus. The first thing this man does, we hang out, wrestling me. What the fuck? Hold on. What are we doing? Little of me, I'm like, oh, haha, like, this man really likes me. He's like, oh my God, he's wrestling me. Come back for part 2. It gets so much better.
Get ready with me and let me tell you a story about how my water broke at an aquarium 4 hours away from my hospital. So at 34 weeks, our dumbasses decided to go 4 hours away to a trip as a last hurrah as a family of 4. And before the aquarium, we walked around a lot. Now, I don't know if that was the right thing to do, but we did. Get to the aquarium, and honestly, I'm feeling great. Too great. On all the aquarium, towards the end, we were in the shark area. All of a sudden, my water broke. I had my own damn aquarium going on down there. At this point, the sharks were not the main event anymore. It was me. My son was like, "Oh, look, mommy, there's water on the floor." I'm clearly at a state of shock. And I'm leaking, by the way. Get into the car, and my husband's like, "Maybe we should go home." The hell? Not thinking rationally. I want to be on the news saying a woman gave birth at a nearby Buc-ee's. My kid's about to pop out any minute. I believe my sister was with us, so we had to drop these other kids in the hotel. We find the nearest hospital. Okay, so we go to the nearest hospital. Doctor sees us. She says, "You're like 7 centimeters dilated." Squeeze me. The baby was literally popping out. They can sneeze and that baby will be out. So then, like 5 minutes in the hospital, the doctor said, "You're ready to push." And I'm like, "Can I have the ice chips first?" Those are so good. I huffed and puffed. Bam, a baby. That little nugget was like 4 pounds, 12 ounces. My husband and I laugh about it now, but back then, we were shitting bricks. And that's the story of how I almost named my
's so strict. I remember the time the principal gave my whole entire class in school suspension. Do y'all know what it takes for a whole class to get in school suspension? Or even just to get it alone is not good at all. But get ready with me for school story time and how my full entire class got in school suspension. Before we start the video, if this gets on your For You page, please comment For You page because I try to notice and follow some people back who comment For You page. Please don't forget to comment For You page. Look at that shade match. Okay, so we had just came back from lunch and we were about to take our quiz or whatever. And this one girl who was not supposed to be in our class walks in and she was arguing with this one girl. Like, they were talking at first because I guess she lost her water bottle and she blamed it on her. I don't know. But it kind of escalated a little bit and the one girl went outside and the other girl followed. I guess the one girl was trying to be mature about the situation, but the other girl had walked out. So, and then they started getting louder. So then that's when like 3 students ran outside and that's when the whole class was just like, "Oh, we're about to take this very important test." And our teacher is on maternity leave, so we have this substitute. At the time I didn't like him, but then I started to like him. So we were the first class who runs out and then the whole grade is in the hallway. Obviously nothing happens because my science teacher gets one of the girls and yeah, I mean like nothing happens. But here's the problem. We try and go back into the classroom and we notice that the door is locked. This dude would not let us in the class. We're literally banging on the door because half of the class is outside. After standing out there for a while, the ESL teacher comes and gets us. We're in the dean's office. He would not let us back in the class. But literally the whole grade was out there. So why are we the only ones being punished? Doesn't make sense. Being so for real, we were sitting in that room for like 2 hours straight because like we had absolutely nowhere to go. He comes back and he says that we're all going to get in school suspension, but on a different day. So for example, 10 kids would go per a day until we were all done. But the story does not end. So let me know if y'all want a part 2. If you stayed all the way to the end, comment down below a pink heart in the comments. Bye guys and have a great day. 500,000 followers is crazy.
Breaking news. The future is here, and it looks bright.
3 years ago, I almost pulled over on the side of the road for a murderer. I did a story time when this all happened, but there's an important lesson to be learned, so I'm gonna say it again. I was either a sophomore or junior in high school, and I was driving home from my friend Sophie's house at like 11 in the morning after sleeping over there. I was driving straight on this road, and I was on the right side, as one should be, and there was a car in the ditch, also on the right side, but facing me. I kept driving like another 40 yards, and then there was another car in the ditch facing me on the right side of the road. I was just like, what the heck, that's so weird, because they were definitely too far apart to have collided, and they looked like separate from each other. I kept driving a little bit, but at a much slower pace, and I saw some guy, like older man, probably like 60s or something, waving his hands, like looked like he was trying to get help, like waving people down, and I was like, oh my goodness, should I stop? I kept driving and I was like, you know, I'm a 16-year-old girl. I really can't help. Maybe I can call 911. But if I get out and help, there's really nothing I can do specifically to help the situation. But then I was home like 5 to 10 minutes later and I just went on with my day. I told my parents, like I called them the rest of the ride home and told them what happened, so they knew what happened. But then like 2 hours later, my mom had found out that the news was reporting on it. Apparently, some crazy man was intentionally driving his car on the opposite side of the road, running into cars, trying to intentionally crash into them and kill them.
That's why there were so many cars on the opposite side of the road facing the wrong way. Then my mom got a text from her friend who lives in a neighborhood really close to where this all happened, and it's a video of the interaction between the police and the guy who was responsible for trying to crash into these people. Turns out the guy in the video was the guy waving me down, trying to look like he was asking for help. Apparently he was trying to get more people to stop so he could hurt people, and he was like swinging this big piece of wood at people, and then in the video he's swinging it at the police officer. I don't believe anybody died because the people whose cars I saw on the opposite side of the road were on that side of the road because they dodged him, I guess. And then once they realized he was crazy, they like ran away and the cops came. It was so scary though, because in the video, the police officer was like telling him to stop swinging, and he just keeps walking towards the officer, swinging the piece of wood, walking towards him, looking like a zombie. He's like waddling over towards him. I don't know what I can say on TikTok, but the police officer puts his pew pew up and is like yelling at him to stop, and the guy's not stopping, and he's walking closer and closer, starts swinging the wood at him. And so then to try and get him to like stop, the police officer like shoots at like his legs, like body parts to get him to like stop moving towards him but not kill him. And it was the most bizarre thing. He's like shooting at his limbs and his legs, and the guy is like not stopping. He's like moving towards him like a zombie. It was like he couldn't even feel the shot. And he was like getting more aggressive and swinging the piece of wood at the officer, and the officer ended up shooting him. He finally like fell to the floor. Watching the video was the weirdest experience ever, because I'd never seen something like that, like not on TV, like actually in real life, having seen that man in person before. So while you might feel guilty not stopping in a situation like that, this is your sign not to. Every time I drive by the intersection where it happened, I think about it. Never stop. Just call 911. Don't be the one to stop.